So there we are in Bethany, and what a strange evening it was. Bethany was packed, of course. People always travel to Jerusalem for the Passover, and there's never enough room. So most people end up staying in Bethany, which is not too far away. But it becomes like a town for a few days, and you stay wherever you can. We travelled in and found lodgings, together with many others, with a man named Simon. Anyway, come the evening, and we gathered in the room. Not just us, of course. There's a party from, of all places, Galilee, staying there too. We assume that, like us, they've come for a pilgrimage, for the festival. But they're a bit different. There's one man who everyone keeps referring everything to. He seems to be their leader. I got chatting to one of them, bit of a sullen chap, said his name was Judas. He reckoned that they'd been there a few days already, and that their leader, Jesus, had been causing some trouble in the temple. He didn't really say what, but you could see that Judas was worried. The rest of them were quite happy, talking quite animatedly, but Judas was a bit on edge. I don't know why he was that concerned, to be honest. There's so many pilgrims around that so long as Jesus keeps his head down, they won't find him in a crowd. Suddenly there was a commotion. A woman appeared carrying a jar. I wondered if she was one of the servants, but she went straight up to Jesus, who was sitting at a table. And then I saw it wasn't a jar of wine or something. It was an alabaster jar, and that meant something precious. She broke it open, and before anybody could stop her, she poured the whole lot of it over Jesus' head. Not just a few drops, but the whole lot. And when I got a whiff of it, I was amazed. It smelt like it was nard. And you know how much that costs. Most people would have to work a year to buy a jar of nard like that. It was running down Jesus' head, into his beard, onto his back. Complete uproar. None of us could understand what she was playing at. I asked Judas about it, and he looked quite grim. Said that Jesus had been going around doing lots of teaching, and that there were quite a few followers, and she must be one of them. I wondered what sort of thing he must be teaching to inspire such loyalty, but you could hear a lot of people muttering. If Jesus really wanted to help people, he'd have stopped her, got her to sell the nard, and use the money for something else. Such a waste to just tip it over his head. There'd have been no bother selling it. It's the sort of thing that's used quite a lot for burials, after all. But then Jesus spoke, quietening everyone down. He seemed not exactly pleased, but appreciated what the woman had done. After all, whatever else it was certainly an extravagant gift. You couldn't wonder if she was mad, though. Who in their right mind would use something like that on even a great teacher? Who would give so much for someone else? But like I said, he seemed to appreciate what she'd done. He actually said that she would always be remembered, that she'd anointed him ready for burial. Why he said that, I don't know. He looks healthy enough. The other Galileans started talking amongst themselves, asking what it all meant. But I found that Judas wasn't doing much talking. He looked sick, like he couldn't believe what was going on. And I noticed that later on, as we were getting ready to sleep, he'd slipped away. He was back by the morning. I don't think he's going to stick with Jesus much longer. You really get the feeling that he'd had enough of this, and that this might be the last straw. Still, it's time to think of other things now, such as where we're going to be able to celebrate Passover. There's not much time before the sacrifice, after all.
Lord, you are anointed King by those who saw their salvation in you, accepting the honour offered to you as your due, but with humility and gentleness. Help us to make you the King of our hearts, and encourage us as we seek to serve you in our lives. Amen.